Welcome back. The objectives of this video are to evaluate and determine your personal relationship with money and everything money symbolizes, and also to consider whether your foundational assumptions about money should change, and if so, how. This module has a before and after quiz, which covers typical life experiences, thoughts, and feelings of classic underearners. You can find it with the Part 3 work in the fillable PDF via a link in the description of this video. Of course, the Part 3 Identifying Personal Money Mindset Issues video goes through the quiz in detail. Perhaps you'll feel like retaking the quiz after Module 6? Having those two snapshots would be useful to mark your progress with the way you are changing and growing as you work through to the end of the program. So, what does money mean for you? Not everyone views money in the same way. In this video, we'll take a look at both the positive and negative mindsets women commonly have around money, so you can evaluate where you are on the spectrum. Which one of these two sayings fits best with the way you were raised? Rich people are all crooks, or poor people are lazy losers? Ideas about money vary widely, and as with the before and after quiz, you will benefit from capturing your thoughts as you work through this program by journaling in the Module 2 PDF or your own journal or notebook. In our minds, money frequently gets mixed up with morality, values, and self-esteem. For many of us, just talking about money is taboo. We've been taught that it's rude to even bring the subject up. Now, if you want a recipe for disaster, that's it. Of course, if you think wanting money is evil and you are shamed into not even discussing money, then how could you possibly expect to be bold and ask for a higher salary? You can't, and your reaction is perfectly natural for the signals you've been given. So many of our dysfunctional attitudes toward money run deep, which is why this can be so complicated and difficult for us to see. It all seems normal and natural to us. That's why it can be helpful to have a mentor to point out these things. Let's discuss money some more and not even think about feeling shameful about it. What is your relationship with money? Think back on what you were taught as a child, because the chances are high that's still where your head is. Here are some discussion points to put things in perspective and help you analyze the attitudes you've absorbed. How do you feel about rich people as a group? A lot of poor people think rich people are probably crooks. No doubt some are, but it's also true that classic under-earners tend to view rich people negatively. They have also been programmed to view living in poverty as a noble thing. Now, if you think money is evil and poverty is noble, that's where you're going to subconsciously lead yourself. You are going to head in the direction of a noble and poor person, or probably just a poorer person, because if you also believe the second thought, that poor people are nothing but stupid, lazy losers, then you'll go to great lengths to avoid being considered stupid or lazy as well. You'll probably end up working way too many hours, yet still not really make much money. You'll feel like a hamster on a wheel. Does that sound like you? It's extremely common for an under-earner to be stuck in a no-win psychological squabble with themselves, where the inner self is terribly conflicted over financial success. Were you taught that nice girls don't pursue money? Historically, it has been common to teach young girls that money was not even something they needed to concern themselves with. It was a man's job to make and manage the money. You probably don't need me to tell you that giving away your power like that has led many women into poverty, and they didn't even see what was coming. As I mentioned previously, one of our main sources for this program is the work of Barbara Stanny. Her father was one of the founding partners of H&R Block, which left her extremely wealthy, but he had also taught her to not even think about money. Disastrously, her first husband promptly ran through her inheritance and left her flat broke. Barbara was completely unaware of what was happening until it was too late. Sadly, that sort of thing happens a lot. Ask any divorce attorney. Barbara admitted she grew up believing Prince Charming would take care of everything. Then her Prince Charming turned out to be anything but, which is also a common experience for so many women. If we women can't make our own way in the world, we'll be much more likely to end up stuck if relationships that we enter with the highest expectations eventually turn bad. Naturally, if you've had a lifetime of believing that money is the root of all evil, that's not an easy attitude to change. You will probably resist changing your thinking like crazy, since the new idea seems to be a total rejection of your lifelong values. Yes, the money is the root of all evil phrases in the Bible, but the entire phrase is more correct. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil rather than just money itself. Now, I am not here to argue scripture, and I'm not sure if that even makes a difference to you, but it might. At least now, you have the proper context. Money is necessary for survival, and wanting to live well is not anywhere near the same thing as greed. Greed is not what we're advocating here. Greed is something that can be harmful, but money itself can do wonderful things. It takes money to feed people, clothe, house, and educate them. There's nothing evil about that. Guilt about wanting more money is a heavy burden for many classic underearners. The only way to get over it is to give yourself a break and realize that self-survival and wanting to be financially secure is a really good thing. In all of her research, Barbara Stanny came to realize that the willingness to accept responsibility and then change one's thinking and behavior is the only way to overcome underearning. She found that most underearners blame external issues, not internal ones. That's common for anybody with any problem, of course. Denial ain't just a river in Egypt, as they say. You first need to overcome any reluctance to face the reality that your thoughts have created in order to be able to make substantial progress towards achieving the life of your dreams. What other foundational assumptions do you hold about money? Is wealth for other people? Do you think money is so difficult to come by that you'd rather be poor? At least then, you wouldn't be chronically sleep deprived. How do you feel about the kind of money you make at your job and the type of work you do? What are you comfortable with, and what do you expect? Are you aware of how your income, volume of work, conditions, and hours would compare to other professionals at your level? Most underearners are not even aware of the correct information, and they underestimate their worth in the job market. And no surprise, whether by nature or nurture, men tend to expect more than women do and feel way less guilt about it. How comfortable do you feel negotiating something like a car purchase, or even just where to go for dinner? Some people love the challenge of negotiating and always speak up for themselves, and some of us always go along to get along. Which are you? Learning to negotiate well takes practice, and we give you plenty of opportunities for that as the program progresses. Many underearners also assume that to make more money, they'd have to work a lot harder, so they stay where they are. They're already stressed enough with their current working conditions and hours. I understand that for sure, but the truth is, making more does not necessarily mean working harder. We'll also talk about that and other misconceptions in Part 5, Investigating the Truth about High-Income Women. Reflective exercise. Answer the following questions in the fillable PDF for this module, linked in the description below, or in your own journal. Money is the root of all evil is a common phrase many of us grow up with, but the complete phrase is actually, the love of money is the root of all evil. Money and greed are two completely different things. Have you ever felt constrained by the thought that it's bad to want money or nice things? Classic underearners view rich people in a negative light and poor people as noble. Have you ever had these ideas? If so, are you beginning to come around to a more nuanced way of thinking? It's common for women to have been taught that the entire subject of money was off limits. Do you recall ever receiving similar messages from your family, at school, during spiritual services, etc.? Self survival and wanting to be financially secure is a really good thing. Write on how your thoughts and feelings about this are changing. You've covered important ground in this video, and the next one will be just as worthwhile. In part 3, you'll identify your personal money mindset. Can't wait to get started. See you over there.